everybody, I'm Chef Jeffrey Gardner from Southern Kitchen. Today we're going to be making an old Southern staple that may have fallen on hard times, smothered chicken. You don't see it much anymore, but it's a delicious classic, so I'm going to walk you through how to make it. As you can see, I've got all my ingredients laid out before me, but for a full list and recipe, scroll down below. We're going to start by making our seasoned flour. I've got a little bit of all-purpose flour here. Just going to dump this into a large bowl. We're going to season our chicken with salt in a little while, but I'm just going to do a good pinch of kosher salt, some paprika, and some cayenne pepper. Just going to whisk this all together. All right, so the next step after our flour is made is we're going to season our chicken. We're using boneless, skinless thighs for this. I love thighs so much more than breasts. There's some natural intramuscular fat going on in here. They're going to be more moist and juicy as they cook. They're also much more affordable. You could do this with bone-in thighs if you like, but for something that's going to cook very quickly, I really like the boneless, skinless thighs here. I like to season before I dredge in flour, just so I know that the salt sticks to the chicken and the chicken is nice and flavorful throughout the dish. So we're just going to go in with our thighs into the flour. I like to give one quick coat before I add the next. We'll end up tossing it all together in just a moment, but I want to make sure that the flour doesn't clump up because of overcrowding and all of our chicken gets nicely coated. While this is going on, I have our Lodge cast iron skillet over medium heat. Not only will this help form a crust for our chicken, it's also going to help thicken our sauce when we make our onion gravy in the pan. So with our skillet hot, we're going to add a little bit of canola oil to the pan. It's about 2 tablespoons. You should kind of see it dance a bit once we add it in. With the oil hot, we're just going to grab our thigh by one end, shake off the excess flour, and just stick it kind of in the corner, going away from you. You don't want this oil to splatter back on us. You should see it start to sizzle around the edges. You don't want to overcrowd your pan, but I think about 4 boneless thighs per batch in your skillet is a good amount to start with. Now we have ample space for our thighs to brown. We're going to cook this for about 6 minutes on one side until it gets a deep golden brown crust. Then we're going to flip it over and repeat the same process on the other side. Our chicken's ready to come out of the pan. We're just going to set it on our plate for right now. It will go back into the pan momentarily. Now we have a lot of wonderful flavor left in this pan that is going to become part of our gravy. So we're going to add some julienne or thinly sliced onion. The onion, more than anything, is going to help pull some of those brown bits off the bottom of the pan. And just keep stirring. We're looking for the onions to go a little bit beyond translucent, almost to the point of being caramelized. Now that our onions are nice and soft, we're going to add a couple more ingredients to build even more flavor into our gravy. We're going to start with some minced garlic. You always see onions and garlic together, but you want to wait until the onions are nice and soft before you add the garlic. Otherwise, the garlic will burn. Just give that a quick stir. We're going to add some chopped thyme. And the key is just keep stirring this till the garlic is fragrant, a little golden, but not burnt. Next, we're going to add some chicken stock or chicken broth. There's no exact amount. The onions will kind of let you know how much they're willing to take. There's kind of a variable as to how much liquid that the onions will take. You don't want it too soupy, but you also don't want this really thick, clumpy gravy. So just add it in stages, let it come to a boil, and see how it thickens up for you. Now, anytime you're making a gravy, one of the hidden secrets to it is to always add a little bit of an acid to help wake up some of those flavors and keep it from tasting too rich and stodgy. A little capful of vinegar is a good idea. With this, we're going to add a little bit more depth and add some barbecue sauce. Barbecue sauce naturally has vinegar in it. It's got some sweetness from tomato products and even a little rounded flavor from some mustard. This is totally optional. It's not traditional, but I think it's delicious. We're just going to give this a stir and let it come up to a simmer for about 4 or 5 minutes. That way we'll know how thick our sauce is going to be and we can add our chicken back to the pan. Our sauce is beautifully thickened. I'm going to put our serving plate up here. We're going to turn the heat off, and I'm going to add just a little bit of fresh parsley just to brighten everything up. We're going to add our chicken back to the pan. Just kind of coat it in this delicious, slightly barbecue-y onion gravy. Just going to give everything a nice coating just to bring it all together, just to make sure that it's not, pan-fried chicken thighs with some separate onion gravy. We want to let this hang for about 2 or 3 minutes just to bring everything together. And it's time to serve. When I'm working with boneless, skinless thighs, depending on your appetite, I tend to think that 2 thighs is a good portion per person. I'm just going to use my tongs here to scoop up some of that sauce. It's melded together nicely from the time that it had to kind of sit and hang out together. And there you have it. It's just that easy. Smothered chicken thighs. For more recipes like this, visit SpringerMTN.com. Thanks for watching.